Still seething. I'm still seething. And I thought, I'm not going to play my bubbly, bouncy intro that's meant to bring joy into your days. I'm going to play a different intro to a different sport because that's where I want to go. That is where I want to go. Full-time Formula One. I'd love nothing more. If it wasn't for those race times being at 6 a.m. and 7 a.m. in Japan and China, I'd be there already. Absolutely seething. Seething. I'm still vexed. I woke up this morning, guys. I kid you not. I did not want to get out of bed. I did not want to get out of bed today. But I thought to myself, there is no way in hell we are not going to go through with a fine comb every ounce of that awful shit that we had to suffer yesterday. Especially with all of these articles dropping left, right, and center today. There's no way we're not going to go through it. Usually I would do these meetings with friends. I put them out of their misery today. I said, our friendship it means too much to me for me to drag you through this. Purposefully put it at a time that I knew brothers, they'd be in bed or they'd be at work. Because there's no way I can drag them through this shit again. Maybe to some people, they don't understand the rivalry or they don't understand the amount of pain and suffering that I'm experiencing. Why I go at Arsenal for the way I do. But when you live in London in particular, there are Arsenal fans everywhere. We lost 5-0 to them at their place. They treated us like Sheffield United. They upped their goal difference for their title race against us. We were meant to go there and spoil the party, maybe take a point. No one was expecting it. I wasn't, because I made a 3-1 prediction on Box to Box. It made me sick in my mouth to sit in AFTV studio and predict a Chelsea defeat. But I did it because that's what I genuinely predict. Honestly predict. But we can't even be party poopers now. Now we can't even be party poopers. Fuck having our own party. Fuck having our own cake. Our own candles to blow out. Now we can't even spoil other people's party. Are you taking the piss? It's quite incredible, the fall off. It really is quite incredible, the fall off, people. 5-0 with no response, no retaliation. Former players dunking on our head twice after missing multiple chances beforehand, tried to spare us twice. And I don't see any statements today. I don't see any crisis meeting in Cobham. Why not? Why not? First thing I want to do is once again, but do it in this format, apologize to you guys for the Pochettino prop at the start of the season. I really mean that sincerely from the bottom of my heart. I apologize with my life for what I have done with this. Lord have mercy, has this manager failed me so much, more than I could ever have imagined. I really thought he could be just a solid appointment. I wasn't expecting fireworks. I wasn't expecting a frenzy. I wasn't expecting titles. But just, could you please just do a solid fucking job? Because you're experienced at this level. Because you've been in this league. Because you've made top 4. You've made European places. You've punched above your weight at Southampton. Could you please do me that one favor and just do a solid job? I'm not asking for much. I'm not asking for you to even, pull up any trees. You got a 2-year contract. Could you please just put some respect back on the badge? Boy, was I wrong. Boy, was I wrong. I apologize 1,000 times. Honest to God, I apologize. I'm so fucking sorry. People talk about, there was a thread that went out People talk about low blocks. He can't defeat low blocks at PSG. He didn't have a plan for low blocks. It was a lot of individual brilliance carrying him. We don't come up against low blocks. Nobody respects us. All you have to do is organize a defense that doesn't ship in the most goals in Chelsea's Premier League era. Is that too much to ask? Was Alderweireld and Vertonghen and Danny Rose and Trippier that bad? Did they concede that many goals? All I'm asking you to do is put together a fucking defense that doesn't leak goals to Kai Havertz. Or am I asking for too much? Maybe I am. Maybe I am. Apologies. All I'm asking you to do is not play every single player you possibly can out of position. Whether it's Chilwell at left wing, Gallagher at left wing, Colwell at left back, Disasi at right back, Enzo as a fucking 10. I'm not asking for much. I'm not a wizard. I might have glasses, but I'm not a fucking wizard. And I cannot predict this level of BS. So I apologize for not being able to see this far into the future. I really didn't think he'd fuck up this bad. I really fucking didn't. And then the quotes. Of course, the quotes after the games. Take the living piss. The in-game management, the lack of. You don't even get up off your ass unless you're at Wembley these days to try and affect the game. To see that Enzo is getting destroyed yesterday, to take him off, put him out of his misery, put Gallagher back there and get Carney on. How can I see a quote after the game saying, we didn't have anyone to combine in the half spaces without Cole Palmer? What the fuck do you think Chukwuemeka does? Have you seen him before? Do you remember him? Carney Chukwuemeka on the bench. He can do that. He can literally link play in the half space. Haven't you seen it? I'm so confused. Genuinely. And we all knew from the moment that centre-back pairing went out, we all knew it was going to be a long day. But what transpired, I will never be numb to. I'm sorry. Some of you may be numb. Some of you may be checked out. I cannot check out to a 5-0 against Arsenal at the Emirates. We've had players that would put their head where boots are flying. We've had players that would be concussed and keep going. We have players, we had a thing going where everybody was wearing masks. Do you remember mask that was meant to, I think, help with the damaged or broken noses? I don't know what it was. It was a trend. From Torres to Cahill to many, many players. Luiz, Ramirez. Players were playing with broken noses. And now we have players that when the ball gets put into the box for a cross, he's shy. Striker. The roles have truly reversed, people. The roles have truly reversed, and it makes me sick to see it. Everything I see in that Arsenal team is what we used to be. The physicality, the ability to mix up your game, the solid fucking defense. Don't get me wrong. They're not there yet. They haven't done anything yet in terms of winning major trophies. But that performance was Chelsea. It was very Chelsea-like. We have become the fragile ones. We have become the flimsy ones. We are the ones that can't defend set pieces. We are the ones that get bullied. We are the ones that try to look good but can't really do anything. And they're the ones that just do a job. They were in second gear yesterday. They just handle business. They just keep clean sheets. They just have strength. They have a couple of leaders. And my team is leaderless. Absolutely leaderless. And it starts with the manager and it filters all the way down to the players. It's just so embarrassing. I will never not be embarrassed. We're so unlikable, guys. If I didn't love us, I'd hate us. I've probably said that about 3 or 4 times this season. We're so unlikable. And I don't want to be liked as a club. I don't care if we're liked. But if you're shit, You better have a good reason for it. And spending this amount of money, letting go good quality young academy players that didn't cost a penny. You better be having a good reason to be this shit. Getting rid of managers that actually have some sort of qualifications for the job. Yes, I'm talking about Thomas Tuchel. Someone that actually fucking loved the club. You could disagree with his transfer strategy all you want, even though he is not meant to be a scout. He told you he didn't want to be a scout. He told you he doesn't want to be a director. I just want to coach the team. Can you please leave Petr Cech in his post? We have a good relationship. Who rates and ranks people like Rudiger, who actually have a set of bollocks about them. I know he doesn't fit this squad. I don't want him to. Look at the squad. Look at the way we carry ourselves. Look at the way we fight for penalties. And then we can't even fucking fight at Wembley and fight at the Emirates. But 4-0 at home to Everton, we can fight. It's absolutely embarrassing the way that this club have just dropped its levels in such a short space of time. 18 months, what is it, 2 years? Unrecognizable. That manager has his faults, 100%. But I never wanted him sacked. So I apologize for wanting this absolute. I don't even want to call him names right now. I'm trying to keep my head. But I apologize. But I did not want that man sacked. The love he had for this club was so clear. So fucking clear. And he had a mentality. Now we have excuses. Every game there's an excuse. Every game there's a reason why we couldn't do a job, why we couldn't get a result. Oh, we don't have Cole Palmer in between the lines. Oh, we're tired. Against Liverpool, we're tired, sorry. Even though we play one game a week. And we're meant to have one of the fittest teams in the league because Pochettino is known for his fitness. Jesus Perez is known for his fitness. But it doesn't quite sync up with the recruitment. So we're going to compare ourselves to Klopp. And we're going to compare ourselves to Liverpool. We're going to compare ourselves to Arsenal and Arteta and Edu. But we're actually not going to do the recruitment that matches with the manager. No. Fuck that. Makes no sense to do that. Whilst those guys are all in sync, while Pep and Tiki are in sync, we're going to sell Gallagher even though you made him captain. We're going to buy fragile players coming off the back of big injuries for your fucking rock and roll football. But you just have to just sit there and just take it, guys. Just wait. Just have a bit of patience. Because clearly we know what we're doing. Clearly we know what we're doing, even though there's no track record of you doing it ever before in your lives. So we are meant to believe that you know what you're doing, but you've never done it before. Imagine me telling you I can fix your car, but I've never fixed a car before in my life. While you stand at the roadside on the motorway and I just continue to fuck around with your car and I've told you I can fix it and I've never fixed a car before. That is what this is. To dumb it down for you, that is what this is. I have never fixed a car before, but I am going to fix your car. I promise. I promise. So believe me. This manager at the end of the season has to go. I understand the job is difficult. I understand it comes with its challenges, but you are also challenged. You are also challenged. You cannot make so many boneheaded basic errors in your selections and in your in-game management and me still sit here and feel sorry for you. And then whilst doing that, you go along with everything that these directors have told you and said to you and briefed to you. You're going to use Washington, but now you never use him, etc., etc., etc. But now you want to call them out and say, oh, we need experience. But the whole season, you were on board with them. The whole season, there was nothing wrong with them. Everything was fine. They weakened you in the January window. It was fine. No problem. So where are you going now? What's the problem? If you are complicit, you cannot be here. If you are complicit, you cannot be in the job. Even though that is exactly what they want, someone that is going to be complicit, I cannot sit there and say that someone that is complicit, I come back. I can't. That's just insanity. That's just absolute insanity. These directors have to follow him out the door. I'm sorry. You may have signed a couple of talented players, but for $1 billion, you fucking better have. Let's get serious here. When you spend that amount of money, and I know it's not all of their $1 billion, let's give them 950 or 900. You better have found a couple good ones. Of course. Joe Shields will take 50% of the credit for all of them, because Palmer is literally one shining light, and then you could give Gusto as well. You have to follow him out the door, because you also have never shown that you can build a club to an elite level. Brighton and Monaco is not the elite level. So I cannot trust you. I have tried. You see, I don't sit here claiming to be the first person to tell you these things. People say, oh, he said this a year ago. No problem. Hats off to him. Hats off to them. I always try to give people the benefit of the doubt and time. I always do that. With players, with managers, with directors, I will give you my trust until you break it. I will give you my time until I cannot see what the fuck you are playing at. And then I will say, I'm not trying to be first. I've never claimed to be first. I don't give a fuck about being first. It's about my own patience, my own breaking point. And I've reached it. I reached it against Wolves at home, 4-2. That was my breaking point. You may not have hit yours. Maybe you hit yours at Old Trafford. I have my breaking point. I reached it. I've reached it because it's a second season on the trot. And the reason why I'm panicking and the reason why it is an emergency is because if I run the risk of trusting these very same individuals for next season, if they fuck it up again, we will start to lose the good players. We will start to lose the key players. And that is when you are truly in the mud. Because now you don't have any saving grace. You don't have a Cole Palmer keeping yourselves in mid-table, when really without him, you'd be in a relegation battle. I'm not going to go as far to say 18th, because another player would have come in and probably got some GA. But best believe if there's no Cole Palmer having the season of his life, going for Footballer of the Year, I voted for him. Yeah? Team of the season, Player of the Year, Young Player of the Year at the club. If we didn't have this individual, we would be truly in more fuckery than you can believe. More than you can believe, guys. So I'm not gonna play this pity party that Arteta will play and Pep. They'll say, oh, but Pochettino, he's so unlucky. Oh, it's very unfortunate. Hopefully things get better. These people don't give a fuck. There are rivals. There are competitors. They said the same about Graham Potter too. They don't care. The only manager in recent times that send shivers down their spines was Thomas Tuchel. And that is the cold-hearted truth. Simple. For all of his faults, he is not on this level here that we're operating at. He is just not. And that is why I've always had respect for what he's done at this club. And anybody who tried to dismiss it, tried to diminish it, or tried to not even show any appreciation for it, I couldn't understand you. When he speaks, you were listening in the press conference. When this man speaks, you turn off the fucking TV. You turn off the computer. You turn off your phone. You turn off your Wi-Fi. You disconnect your broadband. You turn off the electricity. You take out the SIM card out of your phone when this man is speaking. Because he's speaking in many different ways. Sometimes it makes sense, sometimes it doesn't. And it's all contradictions. What we saw yesterday was nothing short of an embarrassment. That's the worst performance I've ever watched. Now, there's contenders, you know, Manchester City at the Etihad, 6-0. Manchester City even the 1-0, where we just walked and accepted defeat and just let them pass it at 2 miles per hour around us. You can take your pick. Maybe Watford with Bakayoko. There are quite the collection. There's a couple contenders, but that is right up there. Right up there. And now I know exactly how they felt when Wenger came to the bridge and lost 6-0. Now I know exactly how they felt. I never thought I'd feel that way. But I genuinely woke up this morning in disgust. I didn't even get up out of bed until like 11. And I have a lot of shit to do today. It took a phone call from KG to get me out of bed. A phone call from KG. Can you imagine? Do you know how many phone calls I got last night? I had so many phone calls that I didn't have time to answer the phone call that was coming in because it was kind of overridden. It was overridden by another phone call and another phone call. Now we've got Arsenal fans singing Waka Waka. It's time for Africa in our comments. Another phone call. This ownership, you need to reflect. You need to reflect now. Not at the end of the season, because people are saying, oh, at the end of the season. No. You need to reflect now. Right now. You should be reflecting now. You should be bringing in someone of experience in the chairman role and in the footballing directing role to oversee footballing matters at this football club. Someone who's done it at the top level. Please don't ask me for names because I do not know. I only know a few names and they're all unavailable. The Edwardses, the Camposes. But that's for you to do your due diligence. Yeah? In terms of the board, not you guys in the comments. Go and find someone who's operated at the highest level. People have even mentioned Maldini at AC Milan. I couldn't give a fuck. Someone who understands football, first of all. Go and get that done. And then once you've done that, then the rest of the season, they will assess the situation. And I hope they come to the conclusion that everybody is unemployed. I hope they come to the conclusion that everybody receives P45 in their mailbox, that everybody is at the job center queuing up in July, 1st of July. Hopefully they come to that conclusion because I feel like consequences need to come from this. I really do. I really do. However, it's up to them. Certain players, they should be sold. But there's always a middle ground. They may not be good enough at all. Not even good enough to make Champions League. But I don't believe that they're so bad that these are the results that we should be bringing in against Burnley, against Sheffield United. If this team could just be coached with a couple of players additioned and a couple of big losses removed, certain few of them, just cut your losses. Because I don't care. Oh, maybe develop next season. We don't have time for that. We do not have time for that. We don't have time to teach you how to brush your teeth, how to spread your bed. Certain players need too much. I was watching Nini's review. Mudryk, 23 years of age. He is no better than 17-year-old Hudson-Odoi. Move. Respectfully move. It's not to say it can't work out for you in a structure where there are experience and there is some world-class players and you are going into an environment where there isn't that pressure, that expectation. With the 10 shirt, the same 10 shirt that Hazard was wearing, you are wearing. Am I a fucking mug? Am I a mug? No. But in this environment, we don't have time for you. In this environment, we don't have time to be developing you because we have to develop so many others. And there's only so many hours in a day. We don't have time for this. Because the more time we take up looking after this person, is the more time we're going to spend dwindling in these stupid, embarrassing positions in the league. And that is just going to piss off the actual players that we need to protect, the Cole Palmers. Because once them offers come in, I am so intrigued to see how these people move. They've sold the hotels. They've sold all of the squad from previous. They're selling everything. All the assets. Heck, they may even sell Fulham Broadway Station next. District Line might get sold. I don't know. But I cannot wait to see that bid come in for Cole Palmer, or that bid come in for a rejuvenated Reece James if he can get himself back after surgery. That will be the real test of what your plan is. Can you reject those big offers? Because there ain't going to be many big offers to come, because these players' valuations are only dropping. It's like when you buy a Lamborghini, Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo, their price dropped as soon as they left the car park. As soon as we started even taking them to the Cobham facilities, taking them and showing them around, their valuations started dropping because we massively overpaid. However, I still believe there's great players in them, but it's going to take a lot to get out of it, starting with a change of management. But as soon as they left the car park, their price depreciated immediately by about 30 or 40 million off of what we paid. So that's not great. That's not fantastic. But obviously amortization, all that funky shit. We were treated like scrubs, like Sheffield United, Burnley at the Emirates. Like that for me is like that's so insane. That's so insane. Some of these quotes. Some of these quotes, man. Jeez, why do I do it to myself? His quote was after the game, if we want to be in a different position next season, we need to take decisions. Europe, it's not difficult to see the future now. It's difficult to see the future now. We feel brother, Europe is finished. You need to tell Petrovic that Champions League is not on the table. It's not happening. You need to tell Petrovic that Champions League is not happening. Because he still believes, according to his quotes. Such a spineless football club right now, while spending the most. Imagine. Shameless. We are very shameless. I say we, because in me too. But I'm today I'm not joking. You see, I could have turned up today for the funeral. Could have dressed in all black. But I don't even have enough respect. I said I'm going to turn up in a trackie. I don't even have enough respect for the death of my football club yesterday to dress up for it. The most goals conceded in any Premier League campaign. Why on that stat alone has he not announced that he will be leaving at the end of the season? On that stat alone, 57 goals. And the season still has how many games to go? 6 games to go. And you've conceded more goals this season than any team in any Premier League campaign for Chelsea. On that stat alone, you should be walking at the end of the season. You should be announcing like Xavi, like Tuchel. On that stat alone. Because what the fuck is that? Do you know how many teams we have put to the field since the Premier League began? And that's the stat. With 40, 35 million pound investments at defense, 65 million. Shameless. Absolutely shameless. The directors, like I said earlier, have to follow him because you can't be trusted. You cannot be trusted to not go and adventure out into Paraguay for a 17-year-old. You cannot be trusted not to go and venture out into Sweden or Norway for a 16-year-old. You cannot be trusted because you know what is needed in this team. If the manager is complaining about height and I am doing 5v2s on set pieces with Arsenal, 6v2s in terms of who can match up and mark up, there is a problem. So surely you're going to address it. Or no? Surely you're going to address the lack of leadership in the team. Or no? I don't know if you are, because you can't be trusted. Because in January, when you already have a young striker in Jackson who's not firing, when you already have a young striker in Washington who is starving in the under-21s, when you already have a young striker in Fofana whose Union Berlin loan has failed him, when you already have a young striker in Amando Broja who is going to Fulham, you had the audacity to try and sign Jason Derulo at Aston Villa. That was your solution, you fucking idiots. After everything you've witnessed about the team, the lack of know-how, the lack of standards, that was your solution, to go and sign the man that backs up Ollie Watkins. And then on Twitter, people are playing the same goal over and over and over again. This one goal that he scored, that was a nice strike. They're replaying it. People used to do fucking hazard comps. Huh? People used to do hazard comps from Lille after winning Player of the Year and winning League 1. Now they're doing fucking Jason Derulo comps with one goal on repeat. Fucking embarrassing. That was your solution to a season that could have been rectified, that could have been salvaged, could have easily done a cup double, could have easily made top 6. But that was your solution, you fucking idiots. You're not serious individuals, clearly, if that is your solution. With all of your data, with all of your fucking information, the same data that Burnley uses. How about, if you're going to do what Brighton do, find out what Tony Bloom is using, at least. You take everyone out of that club, apart from the man that actually runs the show. Imagine the embarrassment. Thinking that you're destabilizing everything they've ever done, whilst you make no progress and you still sit behind them in the Premier League table. After giving them record profits on their financial books, you still sit behind them after they played European football and you didn't. And I'm meant to sit here and fucking accept it. You must be kidding me. Embarrassing. This is what I'm talking about when I say we are embarrassing. When I say it is just beyond shameless now. It's actually a joke. Because my problem is not supporting my club through difficult times. Let me make that clear. If we are going to be mid-table, act like it. You don't up ticket prices. You don't take away coach travel for the people that need to make the matches. You don't spend $1 billion. And you don't rip the heart and soul out of the team time and time and time again. You leave some good, talented young players that people can identify with. You be smart and you be responsible. And then at least you belong where you sit. But you don't sit in mid-table. You don't make me load up mid-6 with Saeed Television after doing everything that you've done. Because you can't have your cake and eat it. It's not gonna run. It's just not. Heads have to roll. This is not part of any process, people. I'm sorry. It's really not. Especially when there's so many cooks in the kitchen that they can't even agree on what the process even is. Every time you're seeing a brief, some people want the manager to stay, some people don't. What? Your shortlist was managers that all had different identities in terms of their footballing philosophy. I saw Thomas Frank, Eddie Howe, and De Zerbi in the same shortlist. I hope it wasn't true, but I saw it with my own eyes. What is that? What is that? And now reports emerged elsewhere on Tuesday that Pochettino will remain in charge next season. They were premature, to say the least. He cannot escape being held accountable for Chelsea's failings. How many we hear so much that it's so bad how much we hear. And we're numb to it now. We're numb to hearing the tactical tweaks that we plan on making in a couple days time. The news just comes out. We plan to switch to a back three. We plan to do this. We plan to do that. It's not normal. This is Communications FC right now. Communications FC. When we won the title under Conte, nobody knew we were going to switch to a back three after the Arsenal game. We just did it. We just did it. Now, if we're even planning to move our left back a few centimeters inside the pitch, I'm going to hear about it 4 days before it even happens. It's incredible. We're so transparent through all the articles, apart from what the actual plan is, so you can be held accountable to step by step what you plan to do at this football club over the next 3 years. You're not transparent about that, but you're transparent about every other thing possible. Anything else going on, you are completely making sure that we get this information somehow, some way, through God knows how many journalists. But when it comes to actually what the hell do you want to do? Where do you want to be? Do you want to win trophies? I'll go on Forbes instead and talk about that one. It's incredible. Absolutely incredible. There's nobody that comes out of that game looking good. So I'm not going to big anybody up. That's not happening. And there's no way in hell we have to actually play Aston Villa away next. Is it Aston Villa away at Villa Park next? You have to be shitting me, guys. Have we not suffered enough? And it can get worse. We have Aston Villa away next and then Tottenham at home. Just end the season. I've had enough. We reached 40 points already. Just give it a rest. The fixtures are too fast right now. Too fast. I'm tired. We're not doing anything significant. I don't know if there's still people praying for top 6. But if you're still out there, you need to shake your head. You need to really have a good think, big little look, into the sky, and just think about whether or not you really want to put yourself for more problem, because you may as well at least know that it's not happening. Honest to God, you may as well at least know it's not happening. At least do yourself that favor. Do yourself a favor and know that that's not happening. It'll be a whole heap easier to get through the rest of the season if you know that. This team is not giving you any consistency this season. It's not happening. I said it after Wolves, and it's not happening. Even if we had won against Arsenal, we would still at some point give you a result that you're not expecting later on down the line. But getting slapped up like that, that's a different conversation. Because we've already been losing and winning and drawing and losing and winning and drawing and all this shit. There's no consequences. It doesn't matter. We go for nights out afterwards anyway, regardless. We have the barbecue chicken. The family comes over. The lemons get squeezed. We've already dealt with all of that. However, getting slapped up against your nearest and dearest is not going to run here. Not going to run. It cannot run. That's what's so different about this. Arsenal playing in second gear, slapping us up. Crazy. Let me go through some super chats, man. I've honestly never felt so sick in my stomach waking up in the morning after a Chelsea game, guys. Honest to God. I was borderline shaking. Because I'm just so embarrassed. So embarrassed. At this point, I genuinely don't know who's worse, United or Chelsea. Listen, it's two clowns sparring, and just when you think you have your answer, the other one retaliates, right? So we are more than you can believe the big clown right now. So please, you don't have to worry about who's the biggest. You guys against Coventry went deaf right to the end. You went life or death with Coventry after being 3-0 up. And we're thinking, come on, we're pissed about losing to City, the best team in the world right now. And look what they do. Surely they must be bigger clowns. And then what happens a couple of days later? We get slapped up 5-0 at the Emirates. They treat us like a championship team. Now we're the clowns. Now, you play Sheffield United today. Surely you're not going to take the limelight and spotlight away from us. Leave us in the headlines. Surely. I don't know. Maybe you guys have got plans, but surely this week we have to be the big ones, the big clowns of the week. I am reading some of these, but you know, some of them are just there to just rile me up, and I'm already riled up. So why would I rile myself up more? You know, can't believe these players too much until Poch is gone. You can't blame them. Listen, it is unrealistic for us to rip up another squad. It shouldn't even be allowed financially and legally and even any sort of legally. I don't even know illegally. It doesn't matter which one it is, that it should not be allowed financially, legally. No illegals. It's not allowed. You're not allowed to rip up another squad. You can't, right? So I'm not asking for the entire squad to be ripped up. There are a couple 2-3s that need to leave. It's as simple as that, right? There's a couple 2-3s that don't make sense. They don't need to be here. Maybe even 4-5s. But, you know, we need to be very delicate with how much we do, because we could actually put ourselves in a more of a problem next year. But anyway, there's a couple that need to be moved on, 100%. Oh, for sure, this team could be doing better. I am not no stranger to that. There's managers out there that improve players. I know we're numb to it right now, because a lot of people are saying, oh, you know, he's not being dealt the right cards, and he hasn't been dealt great cards. Don't get me wrong. If he's playing poker, he's not winning. I can tell you that for free. However, there are managers out there that improve players, and they improve players and they take them to a level that they don't belong on. And you only have to go through our Champions League winning team to see it. That whole forward line of Werner and Havertz, they're not Champions League winning players. They're just not. Marcus Alonso was not a league title winning player. Victor Moses was not a league title winning player in terms of their quality. But if you put them in a system that highlights their strengths and shields their weaknesses, they have a chance. And of course, that means that team has to have a spine, and there has to be some soldiers in there and some quality players in there, which we don't have, for sure. So that's something that needs to be done. However, I can assure you that these players, they can perform better than they are. This is not their best. I have no doubt about that. This is not their best. But when you create an environment where you have to be very, very careful about the environment you create, because I understand, and I've said it before, that this generation is a little bit, you know, more sensitive, and they're a little bit softer, and you have to be a little bit nicer than you did in the early 2000s, right? You cannot go too far the other way, where these guys have no responsibilities, no discipline, no instructions. Everybody's just figuring it out for themselves on the pitch, for penalties, for everything, because it's one big happy family, kumbaya, and everybody loves everybody. That breeds inconsistency and piss taking, really. That's what it breeds. When people in work can see that there is no authoritarian, there is nobody that is going to hold them accountable for their actions, and it's just a piss up, they are going to take the piss. And especially when they're young as well, they're going to take the piss. Especially when they're young and they're easily influenced. And this is the first time they've ever been at a club of this size. So they have absolutely no idea what it takes to play for a club of this magnitude, for this pressure. Especially when there's a lack of leaders alongside the lack of leadership from the manager. Who is going to guide them? Who is going to guide them? Nobody. So everybody's just pissing in the wind because there's no leadership, there's no guidance, there's no standards, there's no discipline, and there's no consequences. So of course, people are going to fuck around. So the first thing we can do here next season is stop fucking around. First things first. Consequences. Simple. If people are playing shit, they are dropped. If people piss around on the pitch and show ego and show, selfishness, and they are wanting to be playing for themselves, and cool. Punishment. One thing I'll say about Arsenal and Arteta, the discipline was on point. Even for Aubameyang, who was captain, who was not too far away from him in terms of them being age mates. You know how difficult it is for a young manager in his first job at that age to discipline senior figures who have achieved things, who have got the backing of the fan base, and he still disciplined his ass. But my manager cannot discipline Madueke and Jackson. Is this some sort of joke? You must be having a fucking laugh, guys. Seriously. Mr. Chelsea says the fact that he's still here after the League Cup loss, our league position, and now a 5-0 thrashing to Arsenal means we've actually become Tottenham. I've never been one to judge a manager based upon their trophies, right? Because I believe context has to be applied as to who you managed and whether or not they were even built to win trophies. Of course, you can overachieve, but if you've been at clubs that were not in positions and were not built to win, I cannot blame you if you did not win. Every job is circumstantial to the tools given, the money spent, the expectations placed, the backing given, etc., etc. The pool, the size of the club. I don't blame you for not winning trophies at Southampton. I don't blame you for not winning trophies at Tottenham, even though you could have. Many men have come after you who are winners like Conte and Mourinho and have failed too. However, it is very apparent that this guy is very wrapped up in his emotions when he gets to Wembley. Very, very clear. When he speaks about it, he's so excited, or he's never won here before. It would be a dream, but you don't seem to know how to handle your shit when you're there. That's the problem. When the big occasions come, you don't seem to know how to handle business. Sarri came here with no winning CV. He hadn't won anything before. But even he showed a lot more. I mean, obviously, it's a different squad, so I don't want to do too many comparisons. But I could see so much more with him, even. The way that he articulated himself in the press conferences. The way that he went about things. Even though he was a big smoker, and, this guy, he had clear rules in place. He wasn't talking out two sides of his mouth. If you said fuck his football, cool. No problem. But I'm still going to do my football regardless. Because I believe in it. This guy, I don't know what he believes in right now, apart from run, energy, height, physical. Cool, no problem. But you don't have a physical team. So what are you going to do about it? And you don't have a physical team because these guys that you say that you're in sync with, they're not in sync with you. You work with people that are playing against you. That's the God's honest truth. You work with directors that are playing against you. And unless you are going to stand up and fight for your shit and demand, which you should have done a long time ago, then they're gonna continue to take the piss out of you. And they're gonna continue to put you at the forefront of things that they have also been culpable for. So you have to do something. You either fight or you walk. But I think it's too late now. I really do think it's too late. You're a part of a project, so the first few years will be tough, mate. He's same himself. Everybody says this until we pull up Aston Villa and Newcastle. You're not an example for us. You're just not. We were not as bad as you were when these owners arrived. You did not spend $1 billion in 18 months. There's so many things that are not brought to the table when we make these comparisons. We swapped places from Arsenal from years ago. This is the Final Whistle podcast. Big up, brother. Still interested in me showing you detailed calculations? This brother. I asked you to give me those calculations yesterday. It's now the following day. Yeah, your assignment is overdue, brother. You know, me and you were conversing over the calculations last night. It's past the time to turn in your work, brother. You know, the deadline has passed. This is a serious channel, serious institution. You cannot be telling me that talking about calculations now, brother. I'm not trying. Listen, I'm just speaking how I feel, brother. The most important thing is the management don't really care about the result. I can absolutely say Poch will be there next season. Worst defeat. At least we got Ineos to look forward to. Mr. Matisse Armani, for your situation is finito, my amigo. Why do you have these emojis lined up like this, brother? Huh? Why do you have these emojis lined up like this, brother? Oh. I didn't even know Havertz celebrated against us because I said I didn't. I said before the game, he has every right to celebrate against us. He is not a legend at Chelsea, right? He is a cult hero at best for what he did in the final, but he is not a legend. Unless you are a legend and you've been at a club for 7, 8, 9, 10 years, there is no need for you to show respect or to not celebrate against your former club. This is not Lampard scoring for Manchester City against Chelsea. Celebrate. I couldn't give a fuck. We wanted to sell you. We sold you. Celebrate. It's not a problem. I take absolutely no offense. I would take no offense for Timo Werner if he celebrated against us next week against Tottenham. No offense. If you give it, you take it. I give him shit. He gives it back. Fantastic. We're rivals. That's what we do. No problem. No problem with anybody celebrating against us unless you have really made your mark here over a significant period of time and you are loved here, you know, clearly, unequivocally, it's all love. Unless it's that, then we're rivals. We will go again, you know? We fight next time. I don't want to talk about Dacho Fofana too much as a mistake because we should not be placing such pressure on shoulders like his. We're talking about Chelsea Football Club. We're not talking about Bournemouth. We're not talking about Brentford. We're not talking about any of these teams. This is Chelsea Football Club. Neither of them should have the amount of pressure they have. And Dacho Fofana definitely shouldn't have this much pressure to be leading the line. He is not Mbappe. He is Dacho Fofana. So, if you're talking about weakening the squad in January, I agree with you. You would have been better off keeping him and having him with Jackson than having Jackson and Washington, and you don't use Washington. But that situation is still not the level required. It's still not good enough. Do you understand what I mean? That is still not acceptable. Still not acceptable from these directors to leave people in that predicament. It's not acceptable. Not when we need to achieve shit. If this was a club that had no pressure, no expectations, we don't have to do anything, we can just piss around in the middle of the table as long as we survive, different. Then, of course, play these games. But we're not that club. We better not be that club. I feel sorry for your club. The drop-off is massive. Bro, it's only the other day I remember rocking up to the Emirates with no worries. I remember it like it was yesterday. We used to be able to rock up to the Emirates with no cares, no worries. Because we were real soldiers and they were real weaklings. And we knew it. They would play the pretty shit and we would fuck up shit. That was the way it went. We would go there, handle business, and go home. 2-0s, 3-1s, Ashley Coles and Drogba's, lovely day out, bye-bye. On to the next. Routine win. It was only yesterday. I can remember it all like it happened yesterday. And now I sit here and it's roles reversed. And it didn't have to be this way. Didn't have to be this way, bro. In Roman era, the helicopters will be flying around Cobham right now and someone would get fresh P45 in the tunnel. Now it's lame, no joke. Brother, these men have lost all of their mystique, all of their mysterious effect that they could have had because they were going into the changing rooms every game. They wanted to run things a completely different way. They were going into the changing rooms, high-fiving people. You know what I'm saying? So they lost all that mystique. No one's scared of them either. No one is scared of the board. No one is scared of the hierarchy. Nobody is scared of the manager. Nobody is scared of anybody at this football club. And that is why people piss up and people piss around. There is nobody sending shockwaves and fear through anybody. No fear. There's more fear in Netflix docs at Arsenal with Arteta than there is at this football club in its entirety. There is no fear anywhere. And that's before I even get to your Peps and your Klopps and the rants that they probably go on. You all saw the Man City doc, I'm sure. There's no fear in this football club. There's no fear to fail. There is no fear to fail because there's no consequences. And obviously now we have to talk about the fact that everybody's on long-term contracts. That is another security that they have. You cannot force people to leave. You can't. You can't even force Gallagher to leave. You could try. You could try force Gallagher to leave, but you can't actually force him to sign a contract in the summer and sign away to another club. If he decides to stay, because you've decided to keep Pochettino, and Pochettino is going to play him every week, whether it's in the 10, whether it's in the 8, whether it's in the 6, whether it's at left wing, right wing, up front, left back, goalkeeper. He plays every game. He has more than every right legally to say, I'm not signing for anyone. I am not going to be your prophet, pure prophet, and I'm going to stay here. And then when December comes, my contract is running out in 6 months. So you have a decision to make. Are you going to offer me a contract or are you going to lose me for free? And I'm going to take the transfer fee that you were going to collect. I'm going to add that onto my signing on fee, my agent's fee, and I'm going to go anyway. But I'm going to go when I want to go, not when you want me to go. Someone should really do that. Someone should really do that with this ownership, just so they learn. Just so they learn that they can't always get their ass out of trouble. They can't always sell a hotel. This ain't Monopoly. Someone should really teach them that it's not all in their control. I would actually not mind if Gallagher did that. I would actually not mind. Just because I think in the next 10 years or however long they're actually here for, they would learn a lesson, a valuable lesson that would be very important in the next 6, 7, 8 years. They'd learn a valuable lesson. If somebody just fucked them over one time, just so they understand that they're not calling all the shots. Someone needs to do that. Someone needs to fuck them over. There's no release clause in his contract. He doesn't have to move. Let alone the guys on 7, 8, 9 years for amortization. They definitely don't have to move. So fuck around and find out. I really hope it would be probably justice for the rest of the academy that's been sold. Even though I'm no Gallagher stan, but it would be justice for the academy if he did that. He was the one to fly that flag. They'd learn a lesson, a very important lesson. A very important lesson. Of course they did. Of course they did. Maybe they're trying to recreate it. In my 20 years of watching Chelsea, I've never seen my club this clueless. Bro, this is what I'm saying. It's not just the results. It's just everything around the club. It's just clueless. It reeks of cluelessness. It reeks of winging it to such a high level, such a high risk winging project that we're on. We're winging it. We're hoping that all these players develop at the same time, which I've said many a time, that doesn't happen and that doesn't work. Because the reason why Reece James became what he became what he become is because, of course, yes, he went to Wigan. Yes, he got the right loans, but then he had Aspilicueta right next to him for 2-3 years by his side as he was slowly integrated into the first team. The reason why Tammy Abraham was able to play up front in that first Cobham winning season is because behind him at the training ground was Olivier Giroud, someone who's been there and done it and been around the block and has won trophies and as a model professional. And I can go through other clubs. I can go all the way to Foden and David Silva or Gundogan. I can keep going. Young players, best environment to learn is around people who can actually teach them. What the fuck is Jackson going to learn from Datro Fofana? What is Datro Fofana going to learn from Washington in training? And I can keep going into all the different positions. Who is teaching who here? So then it all falls on the manager. When we talk about player development, there's many ways for players to develop. The manager helps in some of the development. The players that are established and world-class, hopefully, they also play a part in player development. But that is not going to happen if everybody's trying to learn at the same time. And this is what they don't understand. And it's only now Pochettino is starting to say, we didn't need to sign Washington. We didn't need to sign Cassidy. We didn't need to sign fucking Datro Fofana. We didn't need to sign Strasbourg as a whole entity. But it's only now we're saying it. When I'm not covering all of those signings, because I don't care, now you know why. Couldn't give a shit, because they're irrelevant. What is going on in the first team, that is all that matters. Handle that first, and then you can do your extracurriculum activities. Then you can do your multi-club model. Then you can sign your young players and flip them around Europe and do that little spider diagram chart that Man City have got going in the City group. But handle your home first. You try to do too much too soon, and what is going on at home does not work. And then when you go to acquire other clubs, they're looking at your main company and they're thinking, fuck me, what's going on over there? I wouldn't want to be a part of that. You see, the City group, the top dog is winning. The top dog is top of the league most times. The top dog has won the Champions League recently in the last year. The top dog is something to aspire to. So it's for those other smaller clubs, even though I don't like this model, as I've said before, they can actually see a vision. Okay, right. Wow, I can get behind this because what's trickling down from the top dog must be some good shit. Heck, we got Cole Palmer from them, and he's our best player. So what's coming from the top dog? Now, who the fuck's coming from Chelsea to help Strasbourg? What's going on here with this little spider diagram chart that we're playing with? It's not the same because we've not actually made sure that this is taken care of first. So there's nobody to be enticed or to be motivated to join this group. I wouldn't want to be a part of this group. This seems like the losers' table. Doesn't make any sense. Why rush? Oh, because they need money, Matisse, because, you need money. Why is that? Why do you need so much money? Did you spend too much? Why do you need money? Are you out of all the competitions in Europe that was going to give you the TV rev? Are you not selling out the stadium with the gate receipts? Why do you need all the money? There's many ways to make money. Being shit is not the best way to make money. I can promise you that now. Being up there on TV every week in 2 competitions per week, including then the domestic cups, European, that is how you make money. Sponsors look at that. They say, right, we take, for instance, the Jordan deal. We would have the Jordan deal wrapped up for a customary fashion kit like PSG if we were playing in Europa League next season. That shit would have already been signed. Do you think it's going to get signed now? No, it's not. Why? Because we're shit. That's why. Money lost. Who's going to pay the price now? I don't know. Probably more academy graduates, pure profit, to balance the books. Because we couldn't get that deal, so now we got to get these deals. Idiots. I don't know how the women's team can be operating on an elite level, but the men's team is treated like a relegation scrap. Bro, probably because there's not much money in the women's team. So the possibilities aren't endless. It's very simple over there. Be fucking good. Whereas here it's these players, you can flip them and make this kind of mad difference between the buying price and the selling price. And there's all these different sponsor opportunities. And pre-season we go to America, and there's just a lot more going on over here. Women's team is you must be good. If you're not good, you're going to be in some serious shit. It's very obvious. Whereas here there's your Brightons that can put out record profits, and there's the Leipzigs and the Red Bull models and the Dortmunds, and they make money, and you're thinking, oh, maybe if we look at them, it's more confusing, I guess. It's more confusing if you're new to the sport. Maybe. Big up, man. I hope you called off. Yeah, I really hope I did, but I haven't. I'm so angry with the result, man. It's just, if we had lost that game, I could have just moved on. I don't usually do lives like this. I don't even have an overlay on the screen. It's very rare that I do this. But it's Arsenal. And I really, really, really feel the effects. Living in London, walking around on the street on a daily basis, going places, when you lose 5-0 to these lot. The manner of the defeat is what is so bad. If you lost 2-1 and it was unlucky, maybe there was a decision and it was debatable, or, the players gave it their all, we just missed chances. It's just normal shit. It's not good enough, but, we're here already. We've done that before, so it's not a problem, really. I mean, it is a problem, but you get what I'm saying. Like, it's not a fucking emergency meeting, is it? But 5-0. Skullfuggery. Love for the love. Oh, my God, not these guys. Go back to basics, build a foundation, and stick with it through the highs and the lows. Yep. Man, not gonna lie, 5-0 pack hitting crazy. Yeah, I bet it is, man. Do you feel we can make... No. I don't feel we can make it to Europe. We just lost 5-0 to Arsenal Football Club. Which Europe do you want to play in? The closest we will get to Europe is if we go to Sweden for pre-season. Do you understand? This is Europe for us. It's not going to be any UEFA competition. If you want Europe, you must play in pre-season in Sweden. I don't think it's hitting. I don't think you man are hitting. I don't think you're understanding the situation. I've not even spoken about the medical team. Oh my God. It's just problems everywhere. It doesn't matter where you turn and where you look. There are issues everywhere. Everywhere. Even if you do play in Europe next season, if this medical team or whoever's meant to be managing our players' workload, or whether it's the manager's training regime, I'm not going to say what it is because I don't know, so there's no point me saying. But whatever the hell's going on with our medical side, and I understand there's other clubs struggling this season, Manchester United, Newcastle, Brighton, all these other clubs, but we have been especially shambolic. We have been especially shambolic. So we need to try and fix that. But, we would not survive in Europe. We really wouldn't. You can't play in Europe with 2 injuries per press conference. X 2 injuries. I don't know. Has anybody got some sort of... Anybody who does coding? We need to create something. 2 injuries per press conference. And if you do 2 press conferences per week for 2 fixtures, Europe, that's 4 injuries per week. You can't play in Europe with 4 injuries per week. However, you don't need to worry because we won't be playing in Europe. We will not. You don't need to worry. If your worry right now is that we're going to mask the season by playing in 6th position, you don't need to worry about that because we won't be finishing 6th. I don't care how many points off we are. It won't be happening because look at the performance. Look at the team. Look at the inconsistencies with the players, with the manager. Look at it. There will not be a 6th spot. Don't worry about that. Now, if we finish 7th and they think Conference League is good enough, I do not agree. But that's their business. Then maybe we talk about that. But we may not even finish 7th anyway. So you don't need to worry about it. You don't need to worry about it right now. You really don't need to worry about it. Out of Brighton, ourselves, West Ham, Manchester United, and Newcastle, I do not trust us or expect us at this point now to finish at the top of that pack. That is far too much to expect, to be better than everybody in that group. Won't happen. It won't happen. We just lost 5-0. We could have killed 2 birds with 1 stone yesterday. We could have gone level with Manchester United, and we could have fucked up Arsenal's title running. You have your motivation. You don't need any extra motivation. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You don't need any extra motivation. You had your motivation. If you need more, I think you've chosen the wrong career path. Vivell knew it was time to get out of this mess. He wanted Nagelsmann, and these clowns ended up with Poch. I'm not watching anything Chelsea until someone or everyone is sacked, sorry. Even the board, manager, and the medics. Geez, relax. I just asked what you think, brother. But bro, I feel like I've just said it so many times. And I don't know if you're trolling. That's why I have to make it so clear, because it feels like people are trolling me now. I've said it so many times. We just lost 5-0 to Arsenal. Why do we think we can make anything? Why? What? Entire season, I didn't give a shit if we win or lose. It's just pure vibes. But yesterday just broke me, staying awake until 4 a.m. in the morning for this crap. I apologize, brother. I apologize. We're in quite some shit, guys. And the fact that these guys seem to think that this is okay and they're just going to keep going into the next season, I really hope it works out for them, because it's not looking good, bruv. And next season, I'm telling you, if they have us languishing in this position again, oh my God. You have no more hotels to sell. So you're going to have to sell someone very good at football. Mudryk, Dasasi, Badia, Shill, Poch, Chilwell. Over the last 2 years, Enzo, Poch directors, the owners, hell, watching a game is shit the last 2 years. I said it before the game. Enzo, just go to surgery, bro. Just go to surgery. You don't need to be here for this. There is nothing worth you playing in this team right now. Yesterday was like playing with 10 men. If I include Mudryk, it's like playing with 9 men. As much as there were some other very poor performances, at least they were involved. That's all we can ask now, is be involved. It's like playing with 9 men. Why is this man playing through pain? Have we got a Champions League semi-final coming up that I'm not aware of? Are we in a title running that I'm not aware of? Why is this man playing through pain? For what? For a Conference League battle? Please take your ass to hospital. Please take your ass to surgery. And don't play with me. Some foolishness. Some absolute foolishness. I don't see the light. Do you know why I struggle? Because I don't see any accountability from the manager for his mistakes. Not one time, and I'm counting, by the way. Not one time has this manager all season said, you know what? I fucked up. I got it wrong. For all the times we've seen Dasasi at right back, Levi Colwell getting fucked up at left back, Chilwell at left wing, Gallagher at left wing, Enzo in the 10, second striker. For all of the insanity, not one time has he put up his hand and said, you know what? My bad. Today, it's on me. Not once, because I've been counting, because I've been looking for it. for some accountability. He has not taken an ounce of it. And that right there is the epitome of what is wrong at this football club. No accountability, no reflection. I fucked up. I'll tell you, I'll let you know. In fact, I'll make a whole meme about it in a whole ass video saying, you know what? The crowd can come for me. Pochettino, I said I want that. That's my bad, guys. I'm going to kick myself out my own studio. We go laugh at me. We go and troll me. We go and give me shit on Twitter. No problem. Comments. Until he leaves, you give me shit. No problem. No problem. I apologize again today. Accountability. No problem. No problem. Even Iceman saw it. Broya Jackson, my bad. Broya, clearly not ready. After that ACL, definitely should have got a striker. Now, we could disagree maybe on the Vlahovic thing because personally, I don't think we would have kept him fit anyway. But regardless, needed to get a striker. But at least in January, you see me say, you know what? Now, let's go get that striker. Let's not fuck around. Let's not be stubborn, right? Let's not be wrong and strong. First 6 months of the season, cool. We should have had someone with Jackson, no problem, right? We tried it. Now in January, rectify that shit. So in the next 6 months, we can improve. No problem. But being strong and wrong or having no accountability is not going to get you anywhere. Because now you're steps and steps and steps behind what's going on. Instead of rectifying shit, you don't even know anything's wrong. So how can you? So you're really playing way back. Now, at some point, Iceman won't be so shameless and he'll probably, make it clear that he was calling Palmer a bum earlier on in the season that we should have got Kudus. But that's okay. That's okay. Sorry to draw you out, but I had to. I had to draw you out there. Because you say a lot of shit. And it feels wrong for us to have to move on to the Villa game in a few days' time, but that's what we have to do. But that Arsenal game, I won't forget it. And it's firmly fixated in my brain now. When it comes to this season, that Arsenal game sticks out like a sore thumb. I'm very sorry, but it does. Just like Manchester United at Old Trafford, these results, they stick. They don't go anywhere. This is not just your run-of-the-mill, anything can happen, we move. This is a result that sticks for the rest of the season for me. I'm going to remember this result because it's very embarrassing. I can't remember seeing us lose 5-0 to Arsenal in my lifetime, to be honest. I can't remember losing to Arsenal by that much of a scoreline in a game. I can't remember. I've had a few beatings to Man City. Like I said, sorry. I've had a beating or two to even Man United at Old Trafford. I've not had a beating like that from Arsenal. I've not had a beating like that. The only way you can top that is if you get fucked up to Spurs at home. Let me tell you now, Pochettino, if you have a result like that at home to Tottenham, you will not get to choose whether you leave or you stay. Because I promise you, those home fans that day, they will pack your bags in front of you. You will have to leave. You will have to leave. Lucky that game was at the Emirates. I need our crowd at home to wake up. There's no way if that result comes in, because Tottenham, they have a way of playing. Just beware, if that shit happens at Stamford Bridge, please tell me that it's not going to be tolerated. Please tell me it's not going to be pushed under the rug. That cannot happen at home to Tottenham. If that happens at home to Tottenham, I'm going to just sit and wait for things to start firing off. Surely shit is going to go left. I'm just waiting for riots or something. Like, there's no way. There's no way, guys. There's absolutely no way. No way. Because then if that's where we're at, then we may as well just pack it up. We may as well just pack it up and stop playing the sport, because that means now we just succumb to anything. We could get relegated to the Championship. We could do whatever. It doesn't make a difference now. We just hit on vibes. We just hit on vibes now. I really, really, really know that Thomas Tuchel does not suit his squad. And I really know, guys, that at the end of his spell, it was tough to watch the football, whatnot, Dinamo Zagreb and whatnot. But I really miss having someone, and I'm being honest with you now, because I didn't agree with everything that Thomas Tuchel did. You know, in terms of not taking Gilmore to preseason, started off playing Gallagher in the pivot. You know, some of the players that we bought under him, even though, like I've said before, he was not trying to be a scout. He did not want to do the player recruitment. But I really miss having someone that actually understands what it's like to represent Chelsea in the right way. That's one thing I can say that he did. From the day that he came in, from the very first press conference against Wolves, all the way to the end against Dinamo Zagreb, that man represented this club exactly how I want a manager to represent this club. Exactly how I want a manager to represent this club. He took accountability so many times. If he fucked up in a game and he got it wrong, he told you. Transparent as hell. Every time he fucked up, he told you. No problem. He didn't get salty with it. He didn't start to blame people. He said, you know what? My bad. That's me. 100%. I got that one wrong. Many times it happened. And he's better than this man. He's better than this man, and he can still accept he's wrong more than this man. How does that make sense? Man's won titles. Multiple in multiple countries. Multiple Champions League finals and a winner's medal as well with it. And more humility and more accountability than this man. Damn. Damn shame. Bring Graham Potter back. No. Millhouse, aren't you worried about FFP thing? Bro, at this point, I'm not going to lie to you. I can't even be asked with that. What will be, bro. I can't worry about things not in my control. I mean, I worry about things that are not in my control every day, but I don't even know about that. Like, you know me, I just can't, I don't see the finances. We've sold hotels. Next day, we could sell something else that we own. Like, they are going to probably cover themselves in some sort of way because they're financially well-off people who have been in this environment of loopholes and whatnot their whole lives. So I just have to just accept that they're probably going to manage to fugazi their way through it, and we move on to the next season. I'm not going to worry about something that has to absolutely be taken care of by these guys. If they can't take care of the footballing side of things, then they have to take care of the financials. If they can't even take care of the financials, then they're literally inept. And that's a whole different ball game that we're playing in. So I'm just not going to worry about that because I got enough to worry about on the footballing side of things. And on the financials, I just have to trust and assume. I'm making an assumption, by the way. I'm telling you that now. I'm making an assumption that it's just going to get sorted because I don't know the books. I don't know the numbers, and I can never know. I can see what I see on the pitch. I can see what I see in the press conference, but I can't see the numbers, the books, and what is sold and what is not. So there's no point me even worrying about it because I can't even see it. It's a fugazi, it's a fugazi, it's a woozy, it's a wazi. There's no point me even spending a moment worrying about something that I cannot even see. It doesn't exist to me. Until the day that breaking news drops that we have fucked up and deducted points or whatever, that's the day I'll react. And that's the only day I'll speak about it because that's the only day I'll know what happened. So there's no point. There's no point. It's going to be long for me indeed, brother. It's going to be long for me indeed. It really is. We're going to wrap up in the next 5 minutes. I really appreciate everybody taking the time out of their day to listen to me ramble. I hope what I've said has made some sort of sense. I do believe that, you know, we should look to be cashing in or moving on some players to make space for needed upgrades or needed promotions. Your Benjamin Chilwells, time to go. High wages, low output in terms of performance, inconsistent injury issues, no leadership, not good enough going forward, not good enough defending. So, Mudryk, too much to learn, not enough time. Too much pressure, not enough footballing IQ. Just move him on. Get me wingers that can contribute up front and give goals to this team immediately. That can put points on the board for this team immediately. After the week Madueke's had, I really couldn't give two shits. We've got so many players fighting for this position, potentially. I like the look of Elise. I really do. But, you know, that brother, he has his own injury issues. But I love Elise, you know. I love Elise. I remember saying Elise is right up there with some of the best wingers in the Premier League in terms of talent. And people thought it was a, you know, a disgrace to Saka and all these things. Listen, Elise is one of the top tier talents in this league on that position. He is a proper player. He is a proper player. But this is all fancy stuff, by the way. It's not important. What is important is that there's a line being drawn up front in goal. I don't know what's going on at centre back. Left back is by default, but you know I love Maatsen. And you've got to just establish some sort of core leadership group in this team before you do all the fancy flickery shit. Elise is a fancy flickery shit. You know, Kendry Pyers is fancy. All of these things that get people excited, they're all fancy additions, right? I need that leadership group put in place. It's very difficult to acquire from outside the club, but now this is what we must do because we haven't found it inside. You got it, and it's got to be a strong group, mentally and physically. In all those positions that make up a spine, it's got to be put in place. So we have something to work off, a foundation, and you've got to get them all right. In one summer, you got to get whatever you bring in, you got to get it all right. There's no time for you to make any more mistakes, any more errors. You have to get it all right. On set pieces next season, I want us to be a problem, not a hindrance. I want us to be attacking the ball with some sort of confidence, with some sort of experience to say, yes, we will head the ball in the back of the net. Yes, we will defend our crosses. I want a goalkeeper that's going to come off his line. He's going to collect crosses. He's going to handle shit. When it comes into the box, he handles it. He handles it. You know, this is what is needed. This is what is needed. And then on top of that, you have to get the best out of the players that we have already acquired that really we have to see value. Enzo, Caicedo, we have to see value. Just like we saw from Gusto and Palmer this season, Enzo and Caicedo, you have to see that level of quality next season from them and that level of consistency. And the manager that can get that out of them should be the ones getting prioritized. And I'm hoping that the director will see that, because you don't outlay 200 million plus or 250 million on Lavia, Caicedo, and Enzo, and then tell me 1 year later they all need binning off. So you got to get something out of that. You got to get minimum Champions League qualification out of that group before anything changes, in my opinion. Or you're just you've just lost your mind. You've lost the plot. So we'll see. We'll see. But it's very difficult. Very difficult to take L's like that. And I'm glad I'm not numb to it, because I think if I'm numb to it, then I'm probably too far gone. I can't be numb to stuff like that, man. That's not good. If you are, then fair play, but I can't be numb to that, man. Too much time talking about this team to be numb to that. Six games left, guys. I'm not even going to talk about how many points we have or how many points behind this, that, third. Don't care. Aston Villa's next. It's the last time I'm talking about this game. I needed to get this off my chest. I needed to speak about this game. I needed to speak about these directors. I need to speak about this manager. And obviously that all means I'm speaking about the ownership by default. But in my opinion, it's not realistic for them to, you know, they're owners. You don't move ownerships like that. It doesn't happen. Just ask Man United fans with the Glazers. Just ask Arsenal fans with the Cronkies. It doesn't work like that. So I'm speaking about anything that can actually be changed. Anything that can actually be altered. Soon as well. Because it needs to happen literally in the next few months. So next season is not a shitstorm. Aston Villa away at Villa Park on Saturday. 8 o'clock kickoff is the next game. I'm not looking forward to it. I'm not confident. We did beat them in the FA Cup, but, you know, Premier League, it's a different ballgame now, isn't it? So we're going to find out. Guys, I will probably be back later on for a watch-along. So I'll see you guys for that. And yeah, I appreciate everybody watching. And hopefully I've kind of helped you today. Hopefully I've helped Chelsea fans today, therapy-wise, move on from the match. That was my main goal. And to apologize for the Pochettino prop, because I really do feel very bad. He's really fucked up. He's really fucking up. Like, I had my expectations and I had a few weaknesses, but I was like, you know what? You know, that will pros and cons the pros will outweigh the cons and whatnot. No, this is not outweighing. No, there's no pros outweighing no cons right now. No. Might need to sell Palmer for FFP. Jack, please do not try to rile up the fan base. The DR Sports is going to be long for you. Yes, it will. Appreciate you, brother. I want Mourinho caretaker for the next 4 games. That won't be happening. Mourinho has already said he doesn't want to manage a club like this. Not like our club, but, you know, a club operating like this. Mourinho will never manage a club operating like this. And Milk from Winter. I don't know what milk means, but that means me must leave. So love and guidance. Make sure you smash up the likes. Make sure you subscribe. It's been an absolute pleasure to speak and rant with you this afternoon. I will be back for a watch along later on today. I'll set that up on the channel. I don't really know why I'm doing a watch along. I'll be honest. I don't know if I should. Should I do a watch along or should I just like go outside and like go for a walk, smell fresh air, maybe go for dinner? What do you think I should do? Take time out. Yeah. I think I should. Yeah, I think I should. Because I'm really angry. I know I have to keep telling you that, but if you would have saw my face when I woke up, it was not, it was honestly like it wasn't it. Let's see. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do, but I'm like this. We'll see. Because you know, it's a lot. To watch someone else right now play football is a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I'm still thinking about the 2 goals he scored and everything. It's very difficult for me right now. Because I know what's gonna happen on Thursday and it's gonna be a long day. So we'll see. Anyway, love and guidance. I really appreciate your support, as always. It's good to talk with you guys. And unfortunately, we will be back, you know, next time for more football talk. Lord have mercy. Until next time, big up your damn selves and a bit, people. Peace, love and guidance, guys. Take care of yourselves.